Welcome, welcome, welcome. Episode 99. Damn, we're getting old.
Freaky.
99. And look at it. Today we're going to have KodiApps on the show. So
hey, folks.
Thanks for joining us. A privilege to have an icon in the streaming slash information gray area landscape. This man does it, and I just want to say thanks for him being on the show today. Let me run through who's on the side chat. AA jumped in here. He's was the first one to arrive on the show. Bob, thanks for the intro, and it's fun. I always get excited when that music starts cranking up. Redneck, thanks for joining us. Rick, nice to see you. Eddie G from our Player Pass show, he's on there. Alban, on here. Soheil, Blue, I'm looking for you to correct me when I say that.
Sorry.
All right. Yeah, Jeremy or Jeremiah, Jason, the Beach, Canuck Gal, Rojas Raid. We got Rojas and Next Level just finished their show. I was watching their show. That was why I was a little bit late to send the link to KodiApps.
Hey guys.
Yeah, thanks for them jumping in. Trooper, thanks for joining. Thanks for everyone. Preppy Mama, thanks for joining. One of the things I was going to mention something about Funster. I was going to mention that's on the later in the show. Shrinking Sharon, thanks for joining us. Mike C. Schism. Did you see that, Miss Blue?
That's a name we haven't heard for a while.
I don't know if it's our schism, but
no, it's spelled a bit different, but yeah.
Yeah. So I wonder. All right. So if that's the real schism, would the real schism stand up? So hey, but thanks for everyone jumping in here. Dirty Harry's jumped in there. Steve, Terror's jumped in there. Thanks for joining. So it's that time. So yeah, thanks for everyone joining, and hopefully everyone's doing. Blue, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good, hon. Thanks for asking.
Better than Wednesday?
Oh, don't start. Gotta get your digs in somehow, eh? Nice job. Very nice job.
Yeah, I try. So I do, before we go to KodiApps, I have to show now. All right, so if anybody that's not watched our Wednesday night show, Player Pass, where we do movie reviews, it's non-tech, no tech at all. This is about we usually do 2 movies. Did you like the movie, not like the movie, and why? It's pretty simple. Anybody can do it. Alban's on the show, and anybody that's followed Alban, the man has 1,000 T-shirts, and every one of them is slightly offensive, funny. They're all over the place, and so I have to say he has some crazy shirts. So today, I actually got a new shirt today, and I have to share it today. I've got
Doc Brown, whatever happens, Marty, don't go to 2020. Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, that's good.
That is about right.
So any of the folks that from some of us that are a little bit older remember Back to the Future, and that was one of the things he said before Marty got in the DeLorean and went, So yeah, I
think everybody's seen that movie. Come on.
I don't know, maybe not. I mean,
no, some of the younger folks, no.
Maybe it's just us getting old.
Yeah, it is. I was getting old for sure.
And and Steve is right. Today being 9/11, it is a very somber day, a difficult day to remember. And I saw Blue actually posted on Twitter today about it. And what were you doing on this day? Has it been?
It's been 19 years. Next year will be 20.
I was going to say 20. I was almost thinking 20.
2001, yeah. Whew. Yeah, I remember. I remember, and somebody had asked that, and I remember I was driving to work, and I was in my car, and the radio was on, and I heard about the first tower being hit, and it was like my mind was blown. I pulled over and I started bawling, and I found out a little later on in the day that a lot of we have NORAD here where I live in Canada, And so we have a big airport that can take big military planes and all kinds of planes. And we were told that it was possible that a lot of American planes would be diverting to us, and that they needed places for these people to stay. So they had a place where you could sign up and let people stay with you. So we signed up for that. But luckily, well, not luckily, but I mean, we didn't end up. I think we had one plane land here. Most of them were over in on the East Coast in Canada that took people in for quite a while, actually. But yeah, I still remember that to this day. I remember the exact street I was on when I heard it. And I mean, I'm not even American, and it was just devastating.
Yeah. I was actually moving into my house. We were moving into the house, and I was actually in the process of moving. And the first one I'm thinking, and I'm making jokes because I'm listening to ESPN radio, and I'm like, what dumbass pilot? How do you not see? You're in New York, and I'm thinking, this has got to be the craziest thing. And then when the second one hit, I was like, oh. Then I just like somebody said that you were glued to the TV, and that's sad. A very sad thing, but everything you learn from it and grow from it. And I'm very sad for AA being, unfortunately, it's his birthday. Happy birthday,
AA! Happy birthday!
So, you know what? I mean, things happen, and it's still your birthday, so happy birthday. So, it's been. Yeah, I was thinking 20 years, but 19 is.
Next year.
So, yeah, everyone, it's like you remember exactly what you were doing.
I do. I remember exactly where it was. It was weird. It was really weird.
So, all right. So back to our streaming universe that we're going to talk about, and not to make light of anything, but just to, but I have KodiApps on the show, which I looked back. Cody, this is your third time being on the show.
Yeah, probably is now. Yeah.
Third
Glad
time.
to be back.
Episode 15, which was 3 years ago.
Was it 3 years? Was it really?
Yes. I looked it up.
Time flies, yeah.
It was on episode 15 with me and ARB. It was episode 15, and I'm sure ARB was on this show with you because there were some shows he wasn't able to make it. But then episode 64, which was almost a year ago, about 11 months ago, it's episode 64. You were on here, and so great to have him on here. He does a great service for the community, and I'm hoping that we're able to talk about so we can dispel some of the misunderstandings of the website, because as you and I have talked about in the past, KodiApps, there's certain misunderstandings that people have about the website.
Yeah, I get a lot of messages, that's for sure. Not all of them are nice.
Yes.
We all go through it.
I'm better than that. So yeah, we'll go through this. So thanks for joining the show. Just first thing I want to say is, how did you, even though you mentioned this on the other shows, how did you come up with the idea? How did this brainchild begin and that kind of stuff?
Well, I've always sort of built things for myself. I've always sort of done coding in one form or other. But basically, it was the scene releases. And I just wanted a way to bring scene releases and Tract together. I was a big fan of Tract at the time, and there was a few sort of early add-ons there that were integrating Tract, but there just didn't seem to be, and I really sort of latched onto this, and there just didn't seem to be a way to tie the two together. So I built the site KodiApps from that, based upon that, for me. A bit of a hobby, a bit of a side project, and a few people said who sort of came across the site, said, "Oh yeah, it's really good," and just we're using that, we like that, and and it sort of expanded from there. And obviously, Kodi has been a bit of a passion for quite a few years now, so it just seemed to sort of happen for me, and just sort of spun from there, and I just gradually expanded and try to grow out from that. But fundamentally, it was scene releases and Tract that gave me the idea, and the add-ons and the build side of things sort of came later, because ultimately what we're all about is our love and passion for content, media, TV and movies, and that's what we love first and foremost.
Yeah. So you came up with the site, and so it was your idea was to integrate Tract, which for people that may not know about what Tract is a way, and it's a free site. You can pay for a paid version, but you can have it for free.
Don't pay.
And you're able.
I did for support.
You can get content, and what you're able to do is create lists, and you're able to keep track of what you watch, and that's some of the way. And you can create custom lists, and it's just a way of tracking what you watch, even though it's called Track or Tract, Trakt, Tract. You're able to track what you watch, and then you can also put lists out, and you can have a watch list so that you're able to keep track. And that it was very helpful for people that install a lot of builds, because if you added your Tract account and you used a build, it would know what you watched and what you didn't watch, and it would put a little check mark when you watched it. Then say you decide to get another build or install Kodi all over again, you could wipe your device completely, start fresh, get your whatever. You could get a different add-on, and then input your Tract information, and it would pull from the cloud what you watched and your watch list, what things you wanted to watch. And it made it very easy to do that. And so for people that don't know what Tract is, that's what that site is.
Really easy to add new content anytime you wanted to, even on the go.
It seems to pop up in a lot of add-ons and APKs these days, for sure. And it seems to be a staple for a lot of people. Yeah. And it's just simple, and that sort of gave me the inspiration, and that's where the apps and the website sort of stemmed from.
So I'm gonna share my screen just for on the main site. Okay. So I'm gonna boom. Okay. So I got that shared. Let me try to make it a little bit bigger. That's what she said. All right, so
for now.
But I didn't hear the drum. All right, so this is the main site, correct?
It is. Yep. Everything's
this is where you started.
Yep.
And you have the home, the new TV.
Yep.
New movies. Builds, which a lot of guys that are in the Kodi builds, this is where you're going to be able to go and see where your build ranks. And now Kodi 18, this list is a whole lot smaller. 17 was like 50 or 55. Something like that.
Well, I think I went with Wizards. I think I had individual builds with 17. So obviously it's just been a bit tightened. And these are all builds and guys I chat to, and I could wholeheartedly recommend any one of them, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
If you're going to start anywhere with builds, this is a good place.
And I'm just going to click on, and this is because you see I'm running at the very bottom of the pack here, but that's okay.
Sorry about that, mate. But
hey, I don't mind.
That's how the cookie crumbles.
I don't care. So, but if you click on one of the builds, you're able to. Some of them will have like a little video that plays, and I see there's a couple different videos here. Gives you information about where to find it. So if you want to input it in there, you're able to put the information, and then people are able to discuss it, and you're able to upvote it. And now this is not part of the ranking. Am I correct?
That's right. Well, the nomination system, correct?
No, all right, yeah.
This is for discuss. This is just for the chat side of things.
Okay, for the chat. So, and it's just a nice way. So if you're looking for different builds, and you can look at, some of them will have, like I said, some of them will have a video, some of them will have just some screenshots. And here's 3 different builds. So, what was this? Which one? I
try and keep it up to date. I'm always a bit behind, because everybody's always updating the builds constantly. Yeah. So it's an uphill battle. But I try and get a good assortment out there.
And so we dispel this right off the bat. Okay, so now, because this build is number 1, does that mean it's the best build out there?
Of course not, and I think any sort of common sense tells you otherwise. Every build on this list, or every wizard, is worthy of your attention. It just happens to be user voted, and it's just trending at the moment. I try and keep it as organic as possible, but it just means it's hot at the moment, and it could be for lots of different reasons. But people are just nominating it because they like it. It's not infallible, but it generally does reflect what's going on at the moment. To be fair to it,
right? And you see, you got nominations, and if I scrolled down the right, and you can see noms. That's my nominations. You get 5 a day. That you're
5 a day on
nominate.
different items. Yeah.
So you're able
Todd,
to. Yes.
I'm just going to interrupt for 1 second, and I don't know if you actually said it, but what's the actual website?
KodiApps.com.
.com.
Yep. But yeah, you're able to do it. And again, I like the idea of trending, because because something's trending, it could be trending, like you said, for numerous reasons. Things can be trending, and this goes for the things, the builds, the add-ons, or no, I don't think movies does. You don't have
not movies.
I think add-ons.
Add-ons. It's mainly add-ons and builds on this particular site.
And you can see that I've been clicking on stuff today when I was preparing for the show, just trying it. And it gives what was last week, and it gives you nominations. Like I said, it's what's trending. And a lot of times that it could just be popular, like you and I had mentioned. Yeah. Magic Dragon.
A brand new add-on comes out. People are
case in point. I think Marvel Universe has come out just this week, hasn't it? And straight away everybody jumps on it and wants to know about it and where to get it and how to get it and a bit of information, some screenshots on it. That's what I provide.
Yeah, and so it moves
and it's straight in at number 2.
Yeah, it goes right up there. So
Magic Dragon, there you go. Welcome back, Magic Dragon.
And that's part of my news.
Honestly, when you think about it, in theory, you can't have a list that is most popular add-on, because you would base that on downloads, and there's no central hub that monitors all the downloads. There's
correct.
So many there.
If there was, I would do it.
Yeah, but
I have to do something organic that's user generated, and it's not infallible. It's not perfect. It's meant to be a bit of Kodi fun first and foremost. It's a resource. This website, you come on it and you want to know how do I get some of these add-ons? Every single add-on on that page that you're just looking at there, I would recommend any one of those to be on your build, because they're great.
And that's I'm trying not for those people, for example, that are looking for builds that are new, that have no idea what's good, what isn't good, add-on wise, same thing. Like, I mean, there's not too many generic places that you can go to as a new user and find stuff, like, because you can ask on Telegram in a group, and that group's obviously always going to favor their build or their whereas this gives you like, which is fine, of course they are, but I mean, this gives you an overall look at Kodi all the way around.
Yes, I like to consider it that way. Yeah. There's no best, so I get fed up and tired of people saying, "Oh yeah, what's the best build? What's the best build?" There is no best build. It's whatever you like and how you like it.
Yeah, because I've seen some really nice builds out there, and I mean, but then I get in them. They look great, but I get them in them, and just the layout for me doesn't work. Do you know what I mean? That's why I'm such an ass. I always say
that's fair enough.
Favorite build is my own, because I like things in a certain spot to play a certain way with certain widgets, and nobody else will do that for you. But hopefully you can find something similar to your taste. And if it's not, try a different one. Or if you know what you're doing, fix that one yourself.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's always a good place to start as well. But there's plenty on there. I try and do as many videos as I can. There's a lot of builds out there. There's a lot of good wizards. Have a look, have a browse, see what you think.
So yeah,
pick one you like.
So I don't want to stay on the add-ons page, because I try not to do videos on add-ons that I've not been given permission from the people that created it.
Yeah.
And I know. All right. So speaking of that, you've had add-ons that were put on the list that people asked to have taken off, or add-ons that you didn't put on because you didn't know it was okay. I mean, there's some people like, well, I didn't want my add-on in there, and you're quick to remove them if they don't want the exposure.
anybody who's ever asked, I've not put anything on there that people's objected to. If they did, I remove it. I do pride myself on it. I know there's plenty of sites out there that won't respect the devs, but I will always try and do that. But ultimately, if you're in the public domain, you're in the public domain, of course. But I do try and work with the devs, and I do consider a lot of devs friends. So I do try and respect all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've seen that firsthand on when we were in Gen, and there would be a leak of an add-on would leak out. Someone was creating a private add-on. They were thinking, hey, this is just for my friends and family. Somehow it becomes exposed. And even though, it's somewhat it's on public, but you're thinking no one's ever going to notice it. They're never going to find my URL. But then the URL gets out there and they got put on your list. And people are like, oh, I'm on this list. I don't want it. My information, blah, blah, blah. I said, just send him a message. Tell him to remove it. I said, he's not going to not do it. I said, he's for the community. If someone doesn't want to be on there, he's not going to be on there. And there's times where people's add-on don't get put on there. And maybe they wanted to be put on there. And I'm sure if they message and say, hey, can you add this?
I've always, Kodi is my hobby, it's my passion, and I try and work with people. So catch me. I'm not hiding. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Telegram, I'm on Facebook. I'm easy to find.
See, I've never been a big fan of the fact that people go, well, you put it out in public, so anybody should have it. I think that's such bullshit, and I hate that because you know what? Back in the day, Git was the only place where you could easily share it with your friends and family. So just the fact that it was on Git didn't mean it was Kodi domain. Sorry, but I don't agree with that. It's true. If somebody wanted you to promote them, then I think that's great. If you put it on there and they ask you to take it off, then that's great. But the people that just grab everything they can from Git, so they've ruined Git, because now people are too scared to be on there, which is such bullshit because it's the easiest way to manage an add-on, especially if you have people that are helping with it. And, you got the branches and you're able to, collaborate. This whole Kodi's free, so everything's open source bullshit should not apply to GitHub. GitHub is not Kodi. So in my opinion, this is obviously nothing against you because you're awesome with people. Like you said, you take stuff down. But I know other people who grab people's shit that they shouldn't. I just don't agree with that. As we have a friend, she's got an add-on. It's just for friends and family. And she had so much problems because people were grabbing it. And it's like, that's not, just because it's out in cyberspace doesn't make it yours.
Yeah.
For example, Shadow Add-on, which we know the dev really well, a really nice guy, has said right from the get-go, anybody who wants to fork this, go nuts, have it. You said that. Here, take it. These other people, they didn't. They didn't say, take my add-on and put it wherever you want. It's so, I don't know, it makes me angry sometimes because it's like they're not the same friggin' thing. Just because Kodi uses Git most of the time for an add-on doesn't mean that everything on Git is fair play to be stolen by people.
I think it's always about having a bit just respect for each other, and if someone objects to what you're doing, fair enough, and just try and respect their point of view. And I think that's probably why I've tried, I've generally maintained a fairly cordial relationship with most developers out there. I can't please everybody all the time, but I try and respect everybody's wishes.
I think the problem was when TVA came out with that, was a Git browser or whatever, where it instantly scanned Git looking for repos or for add-ons.
Anything
and it was
new.
it was before that you could use Git, and unless you went on Twitter or Facebook or wherever and said, hey, here's my add-on, have a look at it, trying to share it with people, nobody knew where to look. Because even nowadays, it's kind of hard to find, even when you're looking for somebody's specific add-on, it can get a little confusing trying to find it on Git. So it was like that ruined GitHub for so many people. So many people that just wanted a little private add-on just for their friends and family. And then all of a sudden it was like, wow, hey, it's free game. No, it's not. Mm-hmm. So anyways, rant over, but
fair enough.
Yeah, for you pricks out there that are stealing people's stuff that don't want it out there and they ask you not to keep their stuff or share their stuff or whatever, and you're doing it anyway, you're the problem. And thank you, KodiApps, for not being one of those people.
Yeah,
I try. I'm not perfect, but I try.
No, but I mean, when they ask you, you take it off. I do.
It's
that simple.
Yep.
So hey, I was going to go through now the safe Kodi add-ons. Now, what is that?
Well, these are add-ons that are generally like you. I think the majority are YouTube based, so you could use any one of those. And obviously, some of the other add-ons, shall we say, it's fair to say, sail a bit close to the wind.
Gray area.
A bit of a grey area for some countries, for some people.
Are some of those,
but the safe add-ons are exactly.
Are some of those also Kodi, like actual Kodi original add-ons too?
Well, they're all Kodi add-ons.
No, but not third party. I mean Kodi repo.
Is USTV?
I think one or two. I think one or two of them are Kodi repo. Yeah, because they're safe add-ons. If they're good, they're good. I don't discriminate. A good add-on is a good add-on, isn't it? If it's got good content and it's easily accessible. I can't remember off the top of my head which ones are, but I think there might be one or two of them there. Yeah, definitely. Because
they do have some good apps.
They do, exactly, and I try and showcase them.
Let's talk about your APK time. APK time.
Well, APKs, obviously, I think Kodi has been through a few purple patches. And obviously APKs came in. I mean, Terrarium really sort of set the bar, didn't it? Let's be honest. And it was a great APK. And all the forks that have come on since then.
Yeah.
And they were great news, and they filled a gap for a lot of people who were just struggling with Kodi. And let's be honest, Kodi can be a bit of a beast for people who treat it as I don't know what's the best way to describe it. Kodi is more of a passion. It's a hobby. You got to be into it, and you're always tinkering, and it appeals to that type of people. The APKs tend to appeal to the more Netflix crowd.
Exactly. I was just thinking that's more of your Netflix cable cutter.
And that's not disparaging to Netflix users. I use Netflix, obviously, but they're a bit easy to get into. I found, particularly Terrarium was an amazing APK. And I was gutted when that one went down. But APK time just sort of spanned from that, and it just seemed a natural progression from KodiApps to introduce that. And then in time, it obviously outgrew KodiApps, and then the APK, the companion APK to the site, was developed, and it just deserved its own sort of site. But obviously, it's a sister site of KodiApps, so that they're intrinsically linked together. Same premise, exactly. Trending, what's hot, what's not. And easier ways to get stuff, and everything on here on this page you're looking at now links to original sources. So I always try and get back to the original guys, and we should always try and support the original developers. But APK time, the app, is a bit of a wild west of the APK time world. I think it's fair to say.
Yeah. Well, all right, I'll say this about that. So now this is it's a website. So you can look at the website, but it is it's its own APK that you can install, and install other things if you wanted to make it easy for a new user. So, and I know that if you have the APK time on your phone or whatever, you can say, "Oh, I want this add-on," and it makes it easy. If you're wanting to try new things, be careful of your storage space. Just FYI, a little public service announcement. Be careful of your storage space if you're wanting to try everything.
Todd?
Yes.
People are asking if there's a KodiApps Telegram group.
Yes, there is. Just if you contact us through Facebook, one of our helpers, and we have, and it's not just me behind KodiApps. I just like to point that out. There are moderators and there's people helping all over. There's Katie, Amanda, and lots of people behind the scenes who help out and help moderate. So yes, if you're posting one of the Facebook groups or in Twitter, your Telegram handle, we'll try and get you added to the Telegram group as best we can.
Todd, is that our Amanda?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not Amanda, Amanda.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah. And then Katie, because between Amanda and Katie, boy, if you're awesome. In that group, there is a lot of information when new movies come out, new episodes come out,
Amanda's awesome.
Boom, boom, boom. They're all the time giving you information. So it's a really good site that I'm in that group. I'm on that Telegram group. I've thoroughly it helps you to stay. People say, how do I keep track of so many different things? And they're like, how do you stay? If I'm in enough groups and I'm paying attention, I'm able to kind of not know everything, but pay attention when I see new things happening. That's like, oh, that's of interest.
You're always good at, sorry, Todd's always good too. If he doesn't know things, he'll ask somebody who actually knows.
Yeah. I try.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all in a lot of groups, aren't we? And it's a way to keep in touch with people, and it's a big shout out to the people behind the scenes who don't get all the headlines. You know that they do help a lot. And there's a lot of people contribute to all my projects who just like to remain anonymous, but they know who they are.
Hey, I want to say one thing, and that was we didn't pull it off here. You had Sports Zone, which is
that's about to kick off again, isn't it? Yeah. Obviously the fixtures will be. Yeah, the fixtures are obviously Premiership kicks off again this weekend. That's soccer to you guys, but that'll be kicking off, and obviously I'll be populating that. But yeah, it was a big Sports Zone, keeps up to date with all the latest footy, and obviously any other news and sort of places where to watch and catch up with things. So that's all coming soon.
So let's see, videos on hardware. So if you're wanting to check out some different hardwares or videos for people.
Yeah.
Premiums, which would be your Debrid services. I see Pia's on here, Nord, IP Vanish. So you've got some where people can vote on that. YouTube, which actually I've made the list a couple times on.
Oh, more than you're a regular on there, mate. Yeah, well, if you do, you got a few on that page. Yeah, if you do a good video, you're going to end up on here. It's as simple as that. So
sometimes people are like, well, where do I find these videos to watch? And I'm not just saying mine, but whoever's. This is a great resource, and what this show is really. I'm not. This show can give you some resources, some tools to work with that gives you some places to look. Don't rely on me 100%. Or don't rely on some other tuber or some tweeter.
Or just one generic Telegram group.
Yeah, check out this resource is very unbiased.
And that's
huge. One thing I like about you, KodiApp. You're very unbiased. You don't have favorites. You don't just I'm just going to promote this person's stuff and not this other. You are pretty much, hey, if you create something that's halfway decent, maybe people are going to like it. I'll put it out there. And and
I've always promoted people and supported people, especially the guys early on and guys and girls early on who were just starting out. I've always been there and trying to give them a way into things. Just a note on that on YouTube. You've got a few search options in the top right there. So obviously you can search for add-ons, builds, APKs. If you're looking for a bit of information on something you may have heard about, put a keyword in there, a few letters, and it'll list it. So if you're looking for, say, shadow, for example, it should have quite a bit of information on that. If you could spell it.
There's only one person that made videos that's worth a damn on that one.
And again, you've got based on shadow, you start to see,
Oh yeah,
it's a resource, and that's first and foremost. And you can click into these, and you got, you're into stuff, aren't you?
Okay, yeah, okay, all right. So so definitely a great resource for that. So we take it to the next level. So that was the KodiApps main website, then the APK time.
Yep. And the
app,
now you have
in the app, and now you have a new venture.
Yes, dark web streams. Not I went
off. Okay, sorry, you guys are talking over each other. Let him talk. What's it called?
Sorry, this is dark web stream. Sorry about that. So it's just a natural progression from KodiApps and APK time, and it's a sort of final piece in the jigsaw, really, for people who aren't into Kodi, who have probably got a little bit disillusioned with APKs, because APKs, let's be honest, a few of them have been struggling recently with APIs and other issues as well. So I just wanted to provide an extra option for people to sort of check out and bring it all under one umbrella and just sort of link it between the other two sites. So in effect, having a mega site, if you will. They are three distinct websites, and obviously the layout's exactly the same, and it's easy to flick between them. So let's be honest, if you're looking for something and you can't find it within those 3 sites, you're doing something wrong.
Okay,
aren't you?
so we got KodiApps.com. We've got what's the APK one called?
APKtime.com.
Okay, and this one is called
darkwebstreams.com.
Perfect. Thank you.
And they're all linked in. But if you can find one, you can see the sister sites links on the right-hand side too.
And so this gives you some different options. So the streaming sites would be a site that you click on it and you would search within that website and you're able to watch your content via that particular website.
Yeah, quite literally click and play.
Yep. And some of us that are more streamers, we may spot some of these names, the F movies and the Prime Wires and the Put Locker, you watch, and you're like, wait a minute, I've seen that on a scrape. Well, that's because a lot of add-ons or APKs are pulling from these particular websites, and that's so instead of you going to an add-on, you can actually go to one of these sites. So that's what the streaming sites are.
Like back in the day when you would just go right directly to the site and watch.
Exactly.
More wine.
Exactly. It's just getting back to that and then just giving people another option as opposed to the scrapers.
I know my mom, for example, she uses Kodi, and lots of times, like I've always tried to get her to use autoplay, and she won't. She prefers to pick her streams, but the funny thing is, she always picks from like the same website. You know what I mean? So like, if that's one of the websites, and she just as easy for her to go there. She knows they're going to work for her, and I like that idea.
Rick had a question. Go ahead, Kodi.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing as well is obviously as more of a trend I can see from the footfall for the sites, mobile-based stuff as well. So it's a lot easier. A lot of people are sort of using the mobile phones to access things now and casting as well, and watching stuff on the mobile phones as well. So I've geared things towards them. Obviously, the sites are all responsive anyway, but makes it particularly easy once you're on a mobile phone, which a lot of other sites haven't really sort of tapped into, I felt. Hence, gave me the impetus to crack on with this.
It's a good idea. I mean, you're because this has a lot of content that's not grouped in one place. I mean, your content, this listings is pretty extensive. Rick asked.
Sorry, just a quick question.
Yeah.
So basically, you could come here, click on the Pirate Bay, for example, go find something you want to watch and watch it.
Yep.
No, it links now. The first part is just talking about what Pirate Bay is.
Yep.
And then you can go directly because KodiApps doesn't want to link. He doesn't want to open up. You're having to click another time to go to the actual site.
So it's a place to download versus a place to stream, or some of them you can stream directly from?
Well, the Pirate Bay is a torrent website. Yeah. Obviously, it's more of a you can stream torrents. Obviously, as we all know now, things are moving on that fast. But streaming sites, torrent sites, direct downloads, sports streams, they're the main categories.
Because I was just thinking, in case somebody, for example, who has a Fire Stick, could go to their web app on their Fire Stick, right? Go here, favorite it, click one of these, and watch.
Yeah, they could. I would personally, probably, if it was me, I'd probably use it on my mobile phone, and I'd probably find the content and maybe cast it, perhaps. But whatever works for you. We talked earlier, Todd, and everybody seems to have a different way of viewing their media, don't they? So whatever works for you, that's how I do it.
Like Todd had a live stream channel once that he told me about, and that's exactly what I did. Went on Silk, which is the web browser for Amazon, and then you just go to the site, and then you can watch stuff right away on it, which was kind of neat.
Yeah.
And now that would be like under that. Now I'm on the torrents page, but under the streaming sites, that would be more.
There we go. So click those.
Yeah, this would be like a click. Now some of them require to sign up, some don't. I mean, some
will have ads, some will have.
Yeah, and then sports streams would be somewhat of that live feeds for certain stuff. Again, each website is a little different. But what he's doing here is he's giving you an option and saying,
"Hey, here they are. You might not know about these."
Yeah, And that's the thing. It's like some people may not know about some of these.
I don't know anything about any of this stuff now.
I didn't know a lot of them before I got into it, to be honest with you guys, but I found out quick.
Yeah. So, all right. So Rick was saying, can you start Kodi with a file? I mean, you can download some people's Kodi APKs, or which are a fork of Kodi. Some people have that in their file link. I don't think you can open up file linked from Kodi. No, you can't take Kodi and then open a file link store. It has to file linked is usually through a browser. You'll go through a browser, and then they'll have their own APKs, which APK is basically an Android program. So it's an Android program. It doesn't work on iOS. It's Android, which would mean you're most cellular phones outside of Apple, or Android boxes, Fire TVs. Those are all APKs. So most file links have APKs and
Chinese boxes.
Yeah. So lots of that. So yeah. This with this
no
one here
Windows.
with the direct downloads. Now this you can actually do a search for different content, and then it gives he pulls it to you go to their website, and you can actually search for certain content.
Okay, question for you guys, because I'm complete noob that's doing this. So say you go to KodiApps.com. Are there links to the other two sites?
On the right-hand side, you can see them there. Sister sites, on the screen.
There you go. See it on mine. Oh, hold on. I'm on app. I'm just on Windows. Sister sites on the right-hand side.
Yeah, over here.
Todd's highlighting it just while you're doing that. Just while you're doing that, Robert. Yes, you're quite right. Some sites don't work with the Silk browser, so it's a trial and error thing, of course.
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
Yep. And this is again, he's giving you a resource, something to work with that you're able to check out. So you got direct downloads. So if you're a person that's wanting to download stuff, people say, "Oh, well, these give you a list of websites." Now you decide which websites work best for you. I will give you a little information. You're able to use some of these if you have a Debrid service. You can use some of these sites to download using a Debrid type service. So that is your All Debrid, your Premiumize, your Stream Swiffy. You're able to use some of those services to not download directly. Use that other service. Protect yourself, because downloading directly is illegal in most countries. Not all. Well, not all. Most. It is most countries. It's illegal. So I highly suggest you using a third-party cloud-based Debrid type service, or using a VPN, using some type of barrier between you and that direct download. It's just, I mean, you don't have to, but if I was to suggest to my friends, and if people are watching my show, I'm going to tell you what I would tell my friend. I would use some type of buffer if you're going to be doing download. Use a cloud.
Protection of some form.
Yeah, something.
Ultra feed box, RD.
Yes, something that it doesn't come to you directly to where you can be tracked. So that would be my advice. But yeah, great. So you got download sites. So you got the streaming site, or the sports streams, which has all kinds of different sports sites. First Row Sports has been around forever. That's been around. Oh, there was a question I saw earlier. What was because you don't have it on your list, the longest running Kodi add-on?
I would suspect it's probably UK Turk, wouldn't it be?
Yeah,
I can't think of an older one.
Yeah. I was thinking Turks was probably the oldest, and I think Dragon would be pretty close behind him.
Turk's been there a long time.
Turk's been around since Phoenix was around.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, Turk's been around a while. He's been around. He's been around a long time. So yeah, someone had asked that. It's not listed on the site. So one of the things. All right. So I'm gonna go to the latest movie scene releases.
Yeah, a little bit different from the KodiApps side. I did a few things different. I didn't link Tracked in to the movie section on this particular website, but you've got an easy link to KodiApps, and you can use the KodiApps app as well to sort of link in. But I've done a few things a little bit different on this, given a bit more information.
So I'm trying to find something that's all right. So let's go to Ascension, which is David Blaine Ascension. It may be a bad one. I probably should have done a lot. So we go to Ascension.
Be honest, who was hoping for bad weather?
Thunderstorm. All right. So in here we have a trailer, the cast, in which that's part just like in your KodiApps, right? On your KodiApps website has the same look.
It's same look and feel, and obviously the same sort of stuff, but it's not as developed. Obviously, in KodiApps, you can get down into, a bit more information on the actors, similar movies, and you can really go to town and start adding stuff to your tracks through there. This is like Movies Light, but it's got a lot of information, of course.
Very cool.
So again, with a lot of people that watch my show, this is not always newbie friendly or always newbie fresh. We're geared towards people that have a little bit more wanting to learn a little bit more. One of the cool things about this page is if you look at now underneath the website, it actually gives this information here. Oh, if I can get it to just highlight. Why can't I get it to just highlight that?
Highlight outside of it first, like kind of away from it a little bit. And pull. Or below it and pull.
Yeah, it's not wanting to do it. It's doing the whole thing. But you're able to actually pull the actual rip. So if you're a person that has some knowledge, little understanding how this all works, you could actually copy and paste this into some other engines. Because this engine, his website's not going to give you that. But if you know some other places, if you have some other places that you might be able to plug this actual information into, some other engines, you might be able to find the content you're looking for. Let me see if Mulan will do it. I don't know why all of a sudden.
You've obviously got a screen issue there. I don't know.
I know. I'm trying to think if it's almost like I have. Yeah, there you go.
So it's an overlay or something.
Yeah, I think my control button was pushed a little bit. So you're actually if you copy and paste that, you can paste that in certain places. If you have some search engines that may have places to be able to download or be able to use, you're able to use the actual release information. So for people that have a little bit more understanding how that works, great little tip, little thing to actually has the release group and all. So just, I don't want to give out all the information, try to get myself or you in trouble.
Don't get yourself a strike. Yeah.
No, I've already had them. But yeah, you're able to. It's really cool that it has the actual the release. So and some of them will have multiples. I've seen there was some. Whoa, I think this one had multiples. So if you're a person that was looking for certain content, it actually gives you something to work with. The actual link, and make sure. So yeah, it gives you some real good information here. Let me see.
As I say, I think KodiApps is a bit more advanced insofar as obviously you can, as I said, you can drill down further into the info, and it's got the add to tracked options as well. And but this is with obviously is slightly different information, which will be useful for some, not so much for others.
Yeah, and one of the cool things that if you go to any of these particular movies, it actually has your latest movies. Here's a whole list and latest TV shows. So I was piddling around here. What was it? Here's Big Brother. And it shows you season 22, episode 16, just finished. Oh, a big rating of 4.9, but also gives you something to work with if you have a search engine. And some sister sites. Big Brother Canada. See, you guys have a Big Brother over there.
I think they have Big Brothers everywhere. I think there's a Big Brother New Zealand, South. They're everywhere, mate. It's a huge franchise.
Yeah, they do.
Can't get enough of that, tat.
Yeah. So very good, cool thing. I was going to show one thing, and I don't know if there was. I'm sorry if you guys ask a question and I'm missing it, please repost it, because sometimes when I'm watching these other tabs, I might miss your question. You talked about KodiApps, the APK that you're able to actually install.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stop sharing that screen. Let me see if I can share my Nox player. So you can see my Nox player, and this is running the KodiApps APK, which is really good for linking into your track. You and I talked about that. If you've ever been out and people say, "Hey, have you seen this movie?" And you say, "I know, I've never heard of that movie," and they're like, "Oh, you need to see this movie." And how many of us forget 2, 4, 5 minutes after we walked away from that person? I mean, I know I do.
That's one of the reasons I built this. Yeah.
And with this app, you actually can go and do a search for a movie. And I'm not gonna put a name, and I'm just gonna pull it up. And let's say they said, "Oh, Peninsula. Yeah, you need to look about Peninsula." I'm able to actually add this to my track list via my phone. So this Nox player is, let's pretend that's my phone, and I pull it right up. I can actually add it to a custom list, or I can add it to my watch list right from my phone. I don't have to go. It creates a link between my phone, my track list, and my track list is linked to whatever device I'm using at home, be it a Fire Stick or an NVIDIA Shield. If you add track to it, it will work on an Android box. It'll work on all those. So a great addition to being able to add those shows or movies on the fly while you're just out. You don't have to try to remember it or write it down, because who writes down anything anymore? And through this,
So I try and make that easy as possible for you.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously these are the scene releases.
Yeah. And look, I can add it to any of those by just clicking it.
Yeah. And you can drill down, obviously, at the bottom. If you scroll down, you can get more information. Then you drill in into the website itself, and then into the resource of that.
And part of this, yeah. Well, I don't think it. I think with me using Nox, I don't think it's letting me.
Yeah, Nox isn't the most friendly thing in the world, is it?
Yeah. Since I'm using an Android emulator, it doesn't quite work exactly as my phone, because I should be able to go down farther, but it won't let me go any farther.
Yeah. But you get the gist, something to play around with.
Yeah.
And, if you like it, great. If you click on new movies, it'll take you at the bottom there, it'll drill you into the site. There's lots of things to explore and have fun with.
Yeah.
But any fan of movies or TV shows, you're going to love it.
But great way of making it so that we can get that content a little bit easier. And I think that that's one of the things you're doing.
Yeah.
You're making it easier for people, and it may not, some people have to learn a little bit, but once you learn it, it's like, oh, this isn't that hard.
I try and make it as accessible as possible. It's not for everybody, but for people who want to learn or just use it as a hobby, there's a learning curve involved, but it's fun.
Yep. Yeah. Now this one, the TV show, actually, I'm able to see the similar shows. Yeah, for some reason it wasn't wanting to do it with that movies, but
Nox is a funny animal, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I actually tried to use my my TiVo stream, but I think that the TiVo updated, and I think they made it to where I can't use capture device. I think it's not allowing me to use a capture device to stream. Where when it first came out, you could, but I think that they're putting some safety measures in there for. To be able, so that they're able to be a secure device, secure devices, Netflix and stuff. They want a secure device to where people can't rip via their content via some other device. So, yeah, very cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and close that out.
And we have versions for that for iOS and APK, of course. So and links to both of those are on the KodiApps website. Have a play. I hope you like it. I built it for you guys. It's all free. I don't charge for it.
Hey, no charge? Oh, wow. So I had a question for you. What is a movie, or it doesn't have to be just one, any movie recommendations or TV recommendations for people that are watching that you've seen over the last, month or so. 'Cause we've been locked down for quite a bit, so you might have been able to watch a couple things.
There haven't been many movies out, have there? Let's be honest. But what I think Netflix has been killing it. I think I'll tell you one film that I thought was really good. The Old Guard. It had that Charlize Theron in it. Yeah, great film. Yeah, The Immortals. I love that angle. We've not seen an Immortals film since Highlander, but I thought that was great. She was good in it. Extraction with, if you like, a good action shoot 'em up. I thought. Who was the guy who plays Thor? Chris Hemsworth, is it?
Yeah,
he was in
Chris
that.
was in
It was
that.
good. What else have I seen? I thought The Gentleman was good. If you've not seen that one, that was worth a watch. Few and far between, though. Good films. I mean, God, what else have we had? Bill and Ted. If you were a fan, if you're a guy of a certain age, you might still enjoy that one.
Yeah,
but there hasn't been many out.
I have yet to watch that. I have held off because
Don't set your expectations too high.
Yeah, I liked the first one. The first one I liked, and the second one not so much. And this one I was like, I don't know if I want to go for 3 times. I've heard.
Let's be honest, we've been starved of good movies over the past few months, haven't we? So we're going to watch just about anything.
Yeah.
TV shows. The best show at the moment, it's got to be The Boys, doesn't it? The Boys?
Yes. Yeah.
The Boys is great. And I really enjoyed, what else did I really enjoy? I really enjoyed The Umbrella.
Academy,
The Umbrella Company. That was a great show as well. I enjoyed season 2. But apart from that, it's just the usual trash, isn't it, that we end up watching?
Yeah, we
won't get into, but we all watch it.
Yeah. Out reality stuff will get you. The Greyhound. Yep. Now, see, you talked about
good film.
The 3. I think three of the 4 movies that you'd mentioned were all movies that we did on Player Pass. Like we did the Outpost, or no, the Old Guard. We did the Old Guard, and we did Greyhound. We did The Gentleman. Those were some of the movies we reviewed and talked about, and those were phenomenally. Everybody enjoyed them.
Yeah.
Other than the Greyhound, we did have some criticism to Greyhound, which they could have had a little bit backstory to the other ships, and could have ditched his girlfriend. But that was our opinion. But yeah, that in because what we were doing is a current movie, something that was trending, and then a throwback. A person from the panel could pick a movie. Well, then we got to where there were so few movies being released, there was like nothing. So we started doing like 2 panel picks. And then as people join the show, if you join the show 4 times, then you can be in the rotation of being able to pick any movie you want. I mean, any movie. We have to watch it. So whatever you pick, we have to watch it by the next week, and then we have to give it our thoughts, which, can be good and bad. Mm-hmm. So all of mine have been good, so that's right. That's
because you're cheating. You can't take it off. But IMDb top 250.
Is ARB over in the side chat? No, he's not there to hear about how great I am at picking movies. But
we've been reduced to watching all the Mark Wahlberg movies over the lockdown.
What? Well, wait, he had some good movies. Yeah,
we watched
What
was the brother?
To be fair, Departed was good.
Departed, and what was the one with his brothers?
We watched that one a few weeks ago. That was okay.
I like that.
I forgot the name. We watched The Shooter last night. I don't know if you've seen that one. Yeah. I'd recommend that. That was okay.
It was called Four Brothers.
That was it.
So
they're a bit few and far between.
Yeah.
The Wahlburgers. Yeah. So you've been able to watch enough stuff. So have you gotten back to normal life as much as possible, back to it, or are you still locked down, or what's going on with you?
Well, we're still pretty locked down. Todd, can you just excuse me for a few minutes? I'm just pulling a bit of dog aggro outside. I'll be right back. 2 minutes.
Yep. Let's see. Robert asks, has anyone seen Tenet? No, because it's a bad copy so far. So until it's a good copy, I won't see it.
I'm waiting for a good one too.
Canuckow, I like 12 hours and normally only do 4 in a row. Oh, yeah. 12-hour shifts. Oof. No, thank you. Oh, look at, I had to say his name.
He's right though.
Good grief. And streaming apps, you're correct. It was The Four Brothers is the movie I was thinking about.
I said that actually.
Oh,
did you not hear me?
No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me turn it up. There we go. All right, so on some, I'll go ahead and hit on some things. Mulan hit last week because that's why Blue was unable to be with us because Mulan was more important than this show. I'm sorry, folks. That's just the way it is. So, Blue, can we have just your thoughts? You don't have to, just your thoughts of Mulan.
Okay. Well, I mean, I started watching Mulan with my daughter when she was young. We know all the songs. We know like the animated version. And I've always wanted a live action version. I've been excited about that since I first saw the original animated one. Because I love the story of Mulan, being that I'm a woman, girl that saves her country kind of thing. And there's so many endearing moments in it, so many goosebump moments in it. And when I watched the new one, I don't know if I just rewatched the animated. So I don't know if my hopes were just way too high, but I was completely disappointed with it. I thought the acting was okay. I thought that all of the heartfelt moments in the actual movie, like the animated movie, they took them all out. Like her and her buddies were adorable. Like when they figure out she's a girl, her friends are trying to defend her. Well, that didn't happen in the movie and you didn't even know who the hell her friends were anyway, because you couldn't tell the difference between them. And that's not an Asian racist thing. That's the fact that they each shared about 2 minutes of screen time each, and that's about it. So it was like, for me, it missed the mark. I could do without the music. I could do without Mushu. That's fine. But I felt like it was missing all the essential moments of what made Mulan Mulan. Like all the stand up and cheer moments or the cry moments. But maybe because I watched the animated right before I pretty much watched it. I watched it the day before. I'm going to leave it for a couple of weeks and I'm going to go back and I'm going to revisit it and try to see it with fresh eyes because people are loving it. And that's great. But just for me, yeah, like I said, the parts that were like the most heartwarming in it when I watched the animated weren't in the live action, and like there were things changed. Like her love interest was different in it. There was no witch in it. The bad guy's a different guy. The emperor in the cartoon was like kind of the sweet old man. The one in this one was like kind of a bitchy dude. It was all the characters had kind of changed a little bit. So I think maybe my problem was that I was hoping it would be more like the original. Because, I mean, I think the reason I was thinking that as well is the fact that, I mean, they made Aladdin, they made Lady and the Tramp, they made Dumbo, they made, what was the other one they made? Lion King. And they were almost identical, even frame for frame, some of them, to the original animated ones. So I thought they were going to do, more on stream, but even that didn't save it just because of the missing fun stuff. Like
to be fair, you mentioned Dumbo there being an exact replica. Dumbo, the new live one, was nothing like the original.
Oh no, I didn't watch. Sorry, I didn't watch Dumbo, but I know that Aladdin was pretty much the same. Lion King was identical. So I think it's like Disney's kind of going away from it because I think Lion King was not the first one they released, the live action, and they did it literally frame for frame.
Jungle Book was, I think, the first sort of live action one they went with, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that one was dark and different for sure. But I don't know. I think I was just disappointed because I had, when you have your mind set on something and you think something's going to happen and it doesn't, so it's like it feels like a disappointment. But I want to love it because, I mean, God, seriously, I've been waiting 20 years for like a live action remake. I've been so stoked about it, and then I think I was maybe too pumped. So, like I said, I'm going to give it a few weeks. I'm going to go back. I'm going to revisit it, and maybe I'll love it.
We watched it as a family the other day and just took it on its own merit. I was thoroughly entertained. An hour and a half. We were all happy watching it, and so we didn't really pay much attention to the original. Just take it for what it is. But yeah, a bit.
Yeah,
of
see, I
entertainment.
know the original inside, outside, and backwards, all the lines, all the music, all that, you know. So I think that maybe is what ruined it for me a little bit.
Well, the special effects from I've not watched it, which I can't even. I've never even watched the animated one. So I actually was planning. I'm going to watch the new one because I have no expectations of what.
Perfect.
And then I'll be able to say, you know what, I like it for this. That the special effects when I'm watching the trailers, I'm like, wow, that's some cool looking stuff going on. So I mean, but you know, I think with you, I think maybe you had the expectations of different things and they fell short on that. So I don't. I'm gonna see it.
Yeah.
But I will say it does seem like a lot of people like it. A lot of people are happy with it.
It's a good family film. We enjoyed it.
One of the other big news this week was Magic Dragon is back. So for us that are Kodi users, we knew that he said that he was stepping back. He would not be updating the add-on for a little while. And what's it been, 2 months? He's taken time away, which I totally understand. Anybody that's worked on an add-on can understand the time it takes, especially when you're doing. It's not just some scraper add-on. When you're just doing just some plain scraper add-on, it's pretty easy. But to actually do some links and to put some work into it, it becomes a lot more.
Even that, and just all the kind of like KodiApps was saying, like, you know, sometimes people contact them, and some of it's nice stuff, and some of it's not so nice stuff. You get a lot of those too, and that kind of makes you go, you know what? Screw this. I need a break.
Yeah, you're right. And so he's going to be back. What he posted was that twice a week he's going to try to update. Will be RD only. So if you have Magic Dragon, he will be updating, and it'll be like in the it'll be in like the new releases, that type of stuff. He's not going to be revamping everything in the site. It's going to be targeted to new releases and RD only. So just keep that in mind. Which I think he moved to RD only months ago anyway.
Hey, sorry, RD only or D-Brid only? Like, does premium live? Is that going to work?
I want to say, well, I know he says RD, so I don't know if it'll work in D-Brid though, but I would think. And yes, Redneck, same repos. Kodi going through the site now, very user friendly. DJD.
Cheers, pal. Glad you like it.
Yeah,
big shout out to Magic Dragon. Nice to have you back.
This is for us, for our Back to the Future folks. So, Patty. Let's see. TvZion. We talked about this last week. TvZion going through a bunch of stuff. We talked about that for quite a bit, about what was going on with them. And I'll just say that I think I mentioned during that show what had probably happened in the developer of the add-ons or of the APK said it, that his mods in Facebook and Twitter and Telegram, his helpers, mods, admins on those sites got letters. He did not get a letter. And as he had said last week, I've received no letter. And I said, he's probably not. But the people that are running a Facebook group or a Telegram group or a Discord group or a Twitter group probably did not put the same precautions in on keeping their identity covered, as well as the developer of an APK. That he had layers of protection that they did not. So they did receive letters, and that's why the Facebook group was taken down and this and this and this. The APK has not been taken down, but the support structures that were taken down. It does not mean the APK is done. It just means that those Facebook groups, Discord groups, Telegram groups, Twitter group, those were all shut down. And will there be new ones? I don't know yet. I haven't seen any.
Probably.
But I'm sure someone will come up with, yes, and you're right. They'll probably come up with more protections to protect their name, because most people think, well, I'm just a helper. I'm just helping on a Facebook group. How can you get me? Well, they can send anybody the letter and they can threaten you. Now, if you believe the threat or not is up to you.
Well, it's like our friend who was accused of being the owner of Noobs and Nerds website, and he wasn't. It's just he helped on the forums a lot.
Yeah. And the thing is that, and we said last week, most of the time, folks, Us that are just doing this for free, just helping people, you're not willing to take on the Motion Picture Association for some help that you're not getting paid. Most people are going to say, you know what, I could probably win the case, but I'm not going to fight it because what am I going to win in the end? So, so that's it's still running. And I saw Zion Rick says it's still running strong. Yes, still running. Still, I actually tested it the other day. Not a problem. But their support side, that where people, regular everyday people, created these sites or pages to help. Those sites were taken down. So we'll see what happens with that. I just wanted to touch base with that. This week, a couple of IPTVs. Now that Robert just posted, would you trust an IPTV service? Trust. What do you mean trust? I mean, that's. Trust. I mean, could you use an IPTV service? Sure, you can use one. I mean, could it be gone tomorrow? Sure, it could be.
Yeah.
Don't pay for a year up front. That's my advice.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, don't pay for a year up front. Pay month to month. It works this month. It works for half the month. They shut down. No law.
Is there a chance that if they go down, they give away your IP address? Yes, there is.
Possible,
I mean, it's pirating. So
yeah, it's pirate. It's possible.
Either do it or don't.
PLayersKlub was shut down this past week, and so was Streams for Us. PLayersKlub was around a long time. I remember when they started. Hush and Push, those guys was promoting them. I shouldn't say. He was promoting them when they first kicked off.
It was that works.
Yeah.
$1 or $2 a month back then when they first started. And they went through the price raise just like all of them did. And then they went to an invite only and this and this, but they were shut down. Let's see. I read up a thing about Nintendo wanting to shut down the piracy hack store for the
Switch.
Switch. They're pirating. They're trying to shut that to where people can hack it. They're trying to shut down where you're able to download more stuff. So Nintendo's working on that. Xbox Blue. This is for you, just down your alley.
Yeah.
Xbox leaks the pricing for them, and they're going to be anywhere from $299 to $499, depending on the actual device that you get.
You know what? Every time they have a new one, I buy it. Last one I bought was the Scorpio, and it felt no faster than the last one I had because I mean it's internet dependent, so it's kind of like, you know what? Am I going to buy the next one just because it's out? No, I'll wait till this dies. I used to do that all the time. I always buy the latest one, but you know what? I'm done.
My kids are nagging me about this. You might be able to answer. Am I right in saying there's an S and an X version? The S is a cheaper version. It doesn't have a disk drive. Go on.
Yeah, sorry, I have the X version. I bought the expensive one, of course.
Okay.
You know what? You don't need a disk drive. Everything you're going to get online anyway.
Well, this is where that's pretty much the question I was going to ask, because I think the S version is a cheaper version. It's got the same processor, etc., etc. The games are going to play exactly the same. It just doesn't have a CD drive. And how can they justify $200 for a CD drive? I'll never know.
No idea. It is supposed to, I thought it was supposed to have a faster processor, to be honest.
You might be right. I don't. But
you know what?
The games are different.
I'll tell you right now, you won't notice the difference. I had the first Xbox One, and then I got this. It feels exactly the same.
Oh, I think the only difference is the X version. I'm right in saying I think that has that's a 4K. Yeah. The cheaper version is only a 1080p. But let's be honest, most kids are going to play that Xbox in the bedrooms anyway, aren't they?
Exactly. And I mean, I only have a 1080 TV. I don't have a 4K. So it's like, yeah, save your money.
Yeah, I think my kids are getting the S version.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So 1 terabyte of storage. So it's 1 terabyte, and this is on the X. 1 terabyte of storage on the X. And
and then there's the S.
The S would probably be, would you think, less than a terabyte?
Sometimes but you know what? Well, although I do find, God damn it, games are so big nowadays, it fills up your drive fast. Like really fast. You can only have like friggin' 3 games by the time you get all the updates and everything.
But that's all they ever play, though, isn't it? God.
Totally.
Yes.
They're all playing the same game.
Once you bought it, you don't have to worry about losing the disc. You always can re-download that video game.
Yes, the S has half the hard drive space, so it's 522 SSD drive, storage, whereas the X has 1 terabyte. So
Thanks, Evelyn.
kind of a big deal just in the whole.
Yeah.
Like I said. But if you only have 2 games on it anyway, great. But like Call of Duty, holy Christ, that's huge.
So you're talking about $200 for an extra half a terabyte and 4K. Okay, and a CD drive. Don't forget the CD drive. I'm struggling with that.
Yeah, no, you're not struggling. It's when Christmas time comes and you're looking at. All right, let's see.
Well, I know what I'm buying.
To Beach asks, has anyone noticed that their Shield since the last NVIDIA update has slowed? I'll say mine has been running slow, but I feel like I need a reformat. And that's just me. I'm planning on reformatting my NVIDIA Shield, and because I wasn't sure if I'm having a HDMI issue or a power cord issue, but it's been acting funky lately for the last month or so. But I'm also thinking maybe because I try a lot of things, install, uninstall to get rid of this, and I'm thinking that maybe something's gotten corrupted. So I actually was going to do it before, because my year is not up on the 2019. Because if it's jacked up, I'm calling NVIDIA. I want a replacement. So, what about you, KodiApps? Have you noticed any hiccups with your Shield?
No, Shield's fine. I cast most of my stuff to it anyway, to be fair to it. Works fine. I'm not noticed anything. But then again, I'm drunk most of the time, so.
Nothing wrong with that right there. I'm going to be drunk tonight. No, not really drunk.
Yeah, you will.
I'll be buzzed up a little bit. All right, so let's see. Let's cover over into what's new in Shadow. We have. I need to have like a segment that's called what's new in Shadow each week, because it seems like every week I have to show what has come out new. So
I seem to get an update on Shadow every week. I'm not complaining.
Oh,
it's great.
No, it's more. Sometimes it's multiples a day, because I'm in his group. It's sometimes multiple a day. But I think right now we won't see an update for about a week or two. So you guys can set tight. It's going to be. One of the things I noticed is that now it's we're going with little Sonic look, because it's fast.
Mm-hmm.
He re-added in the track section into the settings. So
why is it red, Todd?
We're gonna work on that one right there.
All
right, so I have to fix the spelling over here anyways, because it doesn't say tracker right. So we got you got the tracker. So for people that use Series Tracker or Tracked, you're able to have a tab where you're able to pull some of that information in. The big thing, let's see, I don't think this time he added the crew as one of the scraper options. Now you do not have to use any of these. These are just optional. They're extras. If you'd rather use the universal,
they're essentially free scrapers. Like, so if you
not
didn't have
all
RD,
of them, not all of them. They do have RD. All
but
of these.
If you didn't have RD, you'd want to turn these on.
Yeah, you could. I know Open Scrapers has some free stuff. Universal has some, but I don't know how well that's maintained.
And you don't have to turn them all on.
No, but he's giving you the options that you're able to add these new scrapers in there, and you can turn those on. So sometimes if you're finding Shadow is having a hard time finding certain things, but maybe another add-on finds them, it may be because those other add-ons are using other server scraper packs. Now, he does not install the scraper modules in Shadow. So you would have to, if you wanted to use the crew, for example, you would have to install their module. You'd have to have a repo that would have that module. Okay, so you would need to have that. But again, giving you the options, there's so many options here. You're not forced to do it, but maybe a handful of people want to do it. So they're there. Quality versus speed. One of the things he added in here was eye candy was added about 2 versions back. He added a new one, which is clean, and then the display for that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a search. So let me see. I don't think anything else. Subtitles was not in my last video. Some people said he does offer subtitling that is done just through Shadow, and if you turn on subtitles, it'll actually give you a list of subtitles that you can pull pull from for that particular movie. And then IMDb was another thing he added just this past. So if you have an IMDb list, you're able to pull that list. So I'm gonna hit OK, and let's go ahead and just to give you an example of what the I think I had this set for clean. So we're just gonna copy, and we're not gonna play a movie. I'm just gonna let it do a scrape job. So let's say Rogue.
Can you turn the that back screen off? I'm not complaining about it, but the actual backdrop.
And just so you can see just the trailer?
No, not this particular screen here, because I found that some backdrops, particularly the bright white ones, it's very hard to read the text. Just notice
it would be good to have the fan art out, I think, too.
Just an option, you know. I do like the fan art, but some text is hard to.
But that would be good as a setting in iCandy for sure to be able to turn that off, because maybe some people like it, but you're right.
So we don't have it. Okay, fair enough. Okay,
it was distracting. Yeah.
That being said, going out on a limb and just putting it out there, Shadow is still my go-to add-on at the moment, and it has been for about 2 months. And given all the options that we do have, that's saying something.
Yeah.
So that's the clean look, and I think the fancy look. Hold on a second. Let me back out. Go
sideways. Yeah.
So that was clean. So we go to fancy, and this is with trailers turned on. Now you do not have to have trailers turned on. Again, that's up to you. And wait for the trailer to end before they receive the results. That means that the trailer will completely be done before you see the results. You can hit close, and it will go away. Hit OK. Sometimes if you have that turned off, you may not even be able to see much of the trailer because sometimes it scrapes. Within 7 seconds, the trailer doesn't even have a chance to get started. So I'm going to check out Scoob. Now, this is fancy. Now, the difference with this, you see it has like little fan arts over here on the right.
It's got the info about it.
Yeah.
I like that.
And this down on that right-hand side was trivia. There was down here on the bottom that was playing. That was trivia. You had your fan art here. You had your trailer here. So this is the fancy look.
Is it just the two, or is there another one?
Yep, just the two. It's just the two, and then he added some different ways that the art over here looks. He added some new icons for that. So that was on the latest edition just this week. He did the eye candy, so you're able to get the two.
I'm with Cody on this one. That I would like to turn off the fan art because I want to see the trailer.
Well, with that clean look, it gives one big fan art. And so,
no, but that's what I'm saying. It'd be nice to have the option to turn off the fan art, just have the clean trailer.
Well, all right. Well,
it's a small point, but yeah, it just might be a bit better for some things. That's all.
For those of us that are older and our eyes are sensitive.
Yeah, definitely for that.
So Todd, I do like the one at the bottom too. The trailer content, I do like that too. How you got current movie
or recommended. So I'm going to hit that just so we see.
Yeah. So it's if you pick Scoob, it'll show Scoob. But if it's like maybe if you're picking Scoob, does it pick something similar?
All right. So the reason why it happens so fast is I have Scoob has been cached. So I'm going to go for Bad Boys for Life, which was such a great movie, wasn't it, babe?
Oh Jesus!
All right. So let's see.
I liked Martin Lawrence. He was funny as hell in it.
Well, or maybe it didn't load this time. Yeah, this is a live stream. This is what you get. Oh, that didn't get me. Let me try Bill Ted.
Excellent.
I'm not getting. Wait a second. I'm not getting anything.
Is there an issue with recommended? Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe. No, I'm pretty sure that I had tried the recommended. So let's do. So it's under recommended fancy. Let me change the source window to clean. Let me try that. Hit OK.
It's fair to say if you got real to bread and you like Kodi, then you should be using this add-on.
It's. I know.
Essential.
I know I'm biased.
No, it's essential. It's my go-to. I think a lot of, especially because usually I would use one of the terrarium forks, but they've been having so many problems with their APIs lately that it's just I was swung back to this, and obviously direct sort of download options as well. Torrents with real debrid, as someone mentioned earlier, I think it was Paul. Torrent with debrids is a great option as well, especially if you can cast it.
So let me change this to fancy. Let's see what that does. I think I tried this with fancy that I actually saw with recommended. Man, it might be an issue with recommended. It's possible.
Hey, Doc.
I could have swore I tried it. Let's try Sonic. Let's see what that does. Yeah, I think something was up with recommended. Because look, it's not even giving us any of that. So, okay. Well, that's why we do bug fixes. We do some bug checks for, and anybody that's in the Shadow Telegram group, you'll find out we're all testers. We're all testers, and we all ask for opinions and how things work. Sometimes people ask for silly stuff, but let's see. Let's see if it does this time.
Just out of interest, Todd, has there been any talk of a download option at all for those people who were on dodgy connections?
Yeah, see, look at this one plays. It's this the recommended. Something's up with recommended. Okay. So, yes, that was discussed, but one of the things the developer thought about that, and he's concerned about other people's safety.
Yep.
Because, and he says he didn't really think he wanted to make it real easy for people to download via the add-on. It just makes it too easy, and possibly people that don't know what they're doing do it and then get in trouble.
Yeah, that's fair enough. It's a fair point.
I don't want to be. He said, I don't think I want to be involved on getting somebody in trouble.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fair. I mean, I'm not a person that thinks that add-ons are the place to be downloaded. There's plenty of places to download if you want to do that.
Check out one of my websites. They're all there.
You know what? If you wanna be more of a downloader, Plex is always pretty cool too. Because my boss, for example, uses my Plex, and he sometimes goes to his trailer, like his little cottage there, and there's no Wi-Fi up there, so he's able to download off my Plex and take it with him and watch it at night with his kid.
And there's times and places and ways of doing it. I've done videos showing you how to use debrid or premiumized to download. Again, via a cloud. When you're downloading directly through an add-on, what if you're doing it directly from a torrent? If you're doing it directly from a torrent, which could happen.
Yeah.
It's just not. It's you just don't want someone getting in trouble just by using your add-on. And so I think he said that I don't think that's something I want to get involved in.
That's a fair point. There's plenty of other options out there, obviously, as we've discussed. Yeah,
yep.
Okay.
Plenty of other ways.
It's a shame because I think that would have been icing on the cake. But, and that's just for some people. But don't get me wrong. I think it's a great add-on, Shadow. Best thing we've seen in years.
Yeah. And I've said it numerous times that, and the guy is, if you've ever looked, all right, so there's lots of clones out there. And I'm going to tell you that, y'all, we've talked about clones and forks. A clone is when we just take an add-on, you change the name, you change the art, and you say, I got a new add-on. That's called a clone. It's nothing different. You just change the name and the art, which some dickheads do. Then you have a fork, which means you create an add-on. It was started from a clone, but you took it another direction. You added more and more stuff. You added things. It becomes its own. It goes its own direction.
Like a prime example of that, for those of you that know what EIM is. Extended Info was the original Kodi add-on, and then a friend of ours, Q, who wanted to. He hit up the developer and said, it'd be really cool to do this, really cool to do this. And the guy basically said, no, I don't want to do any of that. So he took the add-on, and then he made Extended Info into Extended Info mod. It did a lot more than Extended Info. So he forked it off. He took the original code and he built on it. So that's what a fork usually does. A fork improves it in some way or another. It changes. It's not all the original code except for the name. It's a different add-on now. Like, I mean, when we had Exodus and we had Schism, our other Schism, who took stuff in his own direction, and it's always neat when a dev does that. You know, why rewrite what's already written? But if the original dev doesn't, if you give suggestions and they don't want to change it, and you think this is going to improve the add-on, then most times they'll be fine with you taking it in another direction, and now it's a completely different entity. But yeah, some people are just taking add-ons and changing the name of it and pretending it's theirs, not fixing any scrapers, just basically stealing the scrapers off the original guy, not changing any of the code. That's a clone, and that's not a good thing for Kodi, because why not use the original?
Yeah.
Unless you want the attention, which is obviously why you're doing it.
So what I was thinking is, so if anybody has looked at the code for Shadow, it ain't going to take you long to figure out that Shadow is its own add-on. It is a fork of nothing. Now, It might have grabbed a little bit of code here or there, some ideas, some code, but it is its own add-on, 100%.
Well, and even in the last couple updates, he's rewritten.
Yes. So
from his original code.
And that's the cool thing about this. It's not just a fork. This is something that's been it's
brand
written new, and he's written it. And the cool thing is, he said anybody that wants to fork this and take it down a different road, I welcome it.
Yeah.
And that is he's not possessive. He's like, I put it out there for everyone to enjoy.
All of the original genius devs we've known have all had that same attitude. All of them.
Yeah.
But then people abuse it, and like we said, they clone it instead of forking it.
Yeah.
And just use the original. If you're not going to add anything new to it, I mean, if you can't even be bothered to change the artwork, holy crap, dude. Holy crap.
Yeah. And that's the thing I see people doing. And they did it with Exodus.
Yep.
They did it with Exodus. They did it with, and it's like, but that is the coolest thing about Shadow, is that it is an original add-on. It is original, and be it if you like it or don't like it, hey, this guy's doing stuff that nobody else is doing. And
he's around, and he's fixing things, and he's changing things, and he's constantly working on it. But yeah, he is on vacation now, which is good.
Yeah. And so there's sometimes, if you're in the Shadow chat, there's like 2 updates or sometimes 3 updates a day. When he gets on a roll, and if there's problems, he'll fix it, and he's like, new update. Because it's easier to fix small issues than to wait until, let me wait for 20 updates before I push an update. Let me fix 20 things before I push a one, because what if one of those things breaks something? It's hard to know which one broke it.
Well, and it's like we talked about in Shadow Group the other day, and somebody mentioned, and it's true, is that essentially the thing is, in that group is a bunch of people who have repos that are hosting Shadow, multiple different repos. So the thing is, what they're doing is, the second there's a new update out, they're pushing into their repo. But the funny thing is it's essentially a tester group, and shit can be totally fucked up. Meanwhile, you've just pushed it out before you even tested it yourself, and now people are complaining to you about stuff being broken. Well,
it could be.
That's because that group essentially, it's a tester group, and until everybody says, "Yeah, it works great," I don't know if I'd push it if I had a repo for it.
Not maybe the same day, but I mean, most of the time it works. But there is some bugs.
It is good, but it's like anything. It's like anything you get anywhere. That's why usually if you get an update, even on your Amazon TV, the next day there's another update, because you know what? Somebody found a bug and they've now fixed it again. Yeah. So, I mean, nothing is ever perfect, and it works fantastic. I've never had any issues. It's always just little piddly. It's not monitoring my track properly. It's only loading 10 pages. I want 50 pages. Bullshit. It's like none of it. It plays. It plays perfectly.
Yeah, and I understand each thing is important to each person.
I get that, but at the same time, you know what? Did you click it? Did it play?
You're good. You're good.
It was. Do you want your money back? Because you didn't pay nothing, so you ain't getting nothing.
Yeah. Wait, your credit card's on hold. We got it. Yeah. It's fun. I mean, it's a fun group. And yes, I do. We are beta testers. We're beta testers, and it's all good.
It is true. Like, yeah.
I don't mind. Because
Yeah.
I'll say when there's like a real issue. Now I have a real issue. Recommended. I have a real issue.
Well, and the thing is too, if there's an issue, then come in and be polite about it and mention it. And then and if you can give a log so that he can actually figure out what exactly is wrong with it. But don't come in all rude. No, fucking chat over it. Back the fuck off.
Welcome to my world.
Yes, I could see that. I could totally see that. I don't know how you've done it for so long. I think I would have told people.
Block and mute. Two of my favorite words.
I could totally see that. I've had to do that too.
You can't let the negativity get on top of you. You just can't. You can't make everybody happy all the time. You just can't.
That's the thing is, right? Like 99% of people are probably thrilled with it. And then there's that 1% where in their normal life, all they do is bitch, like about everything. There are those people that are on Telegram or Twitter or bitching. Somebody says, I love apples. And they say, what? You got a problem with oranges? It's like, whoa. I just said I liked apples. Back the fuck off. Yeah. A lot of.
Everybody's got a point of view, but it's not always the right one.
Exactly. And you know what? You do what you do. And if they don't like that, then hey, you're free to go off and make your own website and do
block and mute. That. Block and mute.
I do love that. It's true.
So, all right. So that's what I have for the day. Well, KodiApps, first and foremost, thank you for being on the show. Thank you. I hope we were able to explain
My pleasure, guys. Yeah.
Anything that you want to say that I might have stepped on you before you were able to say it?
No, you covered it. You covered the websites. Hopefully, folks have got a bit of an insight of some of the things I do. I also give out. I have free screensavers as well. If people haven't tried those, if you want to mention that, feel free.
Episode 64. We covered your screensavers, which you can put on an Android device. We remember it had trivia. Remember Blue?
Yeah. You did your freaking homework, eh? Episode 14 you were on for the first time.
Very good.
Episode 64. He was on there, and we did. You remember it was like show you a movie, and you had to guess what movie it was, and then you had that constellations. It was like a trivia as screensavers.
Cool.
And you can put it on an Android device.
It's been downloaded zillions of times, but it's still free, ad-free as well. And, it's just a bit of a thank you for everybody. So if you've got something like an Android TV box or a Shield or something along them lines, perfect for one of those. Try it out. Links are on the website as well. You'll find it.
Okay, so the best place to find you is right straight on KodiApps.com?
KodiApps.com, all the links will come. Anywhere really. I'm available. Facebook, Twitter. You'll find me via the site. Telegram. I'm hanging out on Telegram quite a lot. We can do stuff on Telegram that we can't really do on mainstream media.
I see JJ Cordcutters has been sharing all your links here in the site.
I've noticed that. Appreciate that, pal. Thank you. You'll find us. We're not hard to find.
I hit you up on Twitter. I'm waiting for approval.
You've been approved.
It's good thing you know me, babe. That's the only reason he's approved you.
Yes to God, otherwise he would have said, "Who the fuck are you?"
I'm very selective.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for accepting me.
You're welcome. Thanks, JJ.
So, any other plans that you've been thinking about? Things you might expand on?
Dark Web Streams is just phase one of a few projects. I've been chatting to a couple of guys who I mentioned earlier who are behind the scenes. I do have people who contribute in lots of different ways. I have a lot of people who give me information. Obviously I'm running 3 sites, 2 apps, 4 sites, 2 apps, and I can't do it. There's a lot of plates to keep spinning. So I do rely on support, from moderators, from other people, from devs. But we've got a few things on the back burner, and I think there'll be a phase 2 for dark web streams, probably some form of APK. But I haven't. It's in the very early stages. So watch this space. Something, I'm always up to something, Todd. You know me. I've got more fingers in more pies than a leper in a pie factory.
Oh, hold on a minute. The missus might be listening.
As a quick question, do you think at some point when you come back on again that you might be able to bring some of your moderators? Like, do you think some of them would like to come on too and talk about some of the stuff they do?
I will speak to them, but I have people who drop me information. There's people like Katie and Amanda there, just to name a couple. But there's plenty of other people who contribute in lots of different ways. You can't keep so many sites and projects going without people contributing to you. And just a big thank you for everybody who sends me information. And even when it's just when it's someone who's making a build and just drops me a Twitter, a DM or something that just to let me know that they've updated something. I do appreciate all that. And likewise on APK time, we've got on APK time there's a report APK function now if something's not working. We've added a form in there that people can just drop me a line through there, and so I know if something's not working, so I can get that fixed as well. So it's I just want to say it's like I run the websites, but it is a bit of a team effort and it's a community effort as well, and it's the community that drives it all. Thank you for everybody who contributes in whatever capacity.
Thank you for that. It's awesome.
Miss Blue, anything you want to finish up with?
Oh, God, no. Just so everybody knows, Todd normally goes like 3 hours on this show, but he's going drinking after this.
I was drinking before.
Yeah,
I was drinking during, but I'm pacing myself because I'm going to the brewery right after the show. My favorite brewery. So,
yes, it is.
Thanks, babe, for joining. KodiApps, you've been a friend of mine for a long time, and I just want to say again, thank you for your work, your openness, your friendliness, your unbiasedness, if that's a word. Always been very community focused, and I really appreciate that. I can't think of you ever saying a bad word about anybody.
No.
You're always like
maybe hush them. No, I don't mean that hush if you're listening, mate.
But you're, as I said earlier, and I said an icon in the community. And the reason why I say that is that the resource that you give everybody is it's unmeasurable for the people that actually use it and understand how to use it. I use that site, not that I need it to try to find the newest build, but if there's a new add-on or a new APK or a new something, and I'm curious about it, I'll read through the comments, and then I can find the URL for it. I can test it out and then decide for myself if I want to use it. Instead of doing Google, people say, oh, you can just Google it. Google will give you some crazy results a lot of times.
Yeah, and unreliable and old results, I find.
Exactly. And the one thing I can always trust is your site always gives correct information and gives the resources, and I'm able to use it. Now with your dark web streams, for a more advanced user, I believe that the more advanced users in our community are going to find that very helpful. You're going to be able to people are going to be able to do a lot to find the content that they want.
I hope so.
Yeah. And I mean, it's laid out well, but there's little Easter eggs in there. You put little Easter eggs in there. And for people that understand, for people that know what they're looking for, that can be helpful to find the content they're looking for.
Yeah.
And I think that's you're just doing it, and you give, and you're like, hey, here it is. Everyone use it. And I don't think there's enough people in the community doing that. I will say there's people that do post content, how to find content, but how many times do I have to scroll down a page 4 miles long past 15 ads and 6 pop-ups before I get to the one link that they promised me at the beginning, but I had to go all the way about. That's
like any article on the internet right now. It's so annoying to try to just read one full article. It takes you half an hour of closing all these pop-ups, and it's exhausting.
And I understand that some people they want to make money, but it's also, but if you make the experience so bad,
I'll never go back again.
Then I don't go back. Yeah. And That's the thing. I mean, anybody can handle a pop-up here or there, pop-up blocker, but if the content, if I have to scroll page after page after page to get what it becomes, for me, becomes very irritating, and I'm discouraged. You do a very good job of laying it out.
Sorry.
Well, appreciate the support on that. Yeah.
So they're completely off topic, but once again on the internet stuff. For me, recipes. Lately, I've been looking up recipes, and a lady will talk for 18,000 pages before she actually gets to her recipe. And I've got probably 18 videos popping up and other pop. It's like, give me the goddamn recipe. I think I am going to start a new website for recipes with no ads. If any of you actually cook.
There you go. Look at there. You heard it here. New website's coming. New website's coming. Blue's already. She's all right. It's going now. Redneck asked, "What is my episode 100 going to be about?" I don't know yet.
Unfortunately, it's not going to be a wedding.
No, I got 2 days off between now and then, and I don't know.
What? Don't sound so thrilled about that, Todd. Jesus.
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
No, but I mean about the wedding part.
Oh, the wedding part. We're streaming that live. I'm not even worried about that. That's going to be in December. Let's stream live. Watch it here. So I want to thank everyone for watching. Lots of good people over in the side chat, and I want to give out a shout. I was watching some of Penn's videos. He is someone that I would suggest for people to follow. If you're a advanced user in our community, he does videos outside the norm. So the stuff that you would see on everybody's page, he's not doing that. He's doing something completely different. He's a guy that I'm following, and I'm not bashing any other YouTubers that are on the side. I see Doc is there. I see Sharon's there. Brooklyn Court Crush, not knocking any of them. But I've seen some of his videos do and speak on topics that are not talked about nowhere else. So if you haven't followed Penn, check him out. Pein. Very interesting. And he doesn't even have that many subscribers. He's like me, like a hidden gem. Like a hidden gem. So we're going to finish at that because I'm a hidden gem, and I like that, finishing at that. So, again, thanks for everyone joining. We'll see what happens on episode 100. And as always, streaming